Hello everyone and welcome to the video, and today we're going to be talking about the new Season 10 tier list video. I'm going to be basing this tier list off of the Legends ranks in ranked and pubs only, so it is going to be different for arenas. Arenas is a completely different game mode, and also this is not going to be competitive either. I know a lot of times pros will play different legends, and this is not going to be anything like that. So this is just going to be strictly for casual players and ranked players, so it will be relevant to pretty much every single player. But before we get into the video, if you guys could please not only drop a sub, but follow me on Twitch. I'm going to put the link in the description. It would help me out a ton, and I would really appreciate it. But let's get right into the video. So the first legend we have up, we're going to be going in order of how they come in the actual legend picking screen. So first up, we have Bloodhound. And starting off with Bloodhound, Bloodhound is incredibly powerful, literally built in wall hacks. So obviously we're going to be putting Bloodhound in the SS tier. One thing I didn't mention before I started this video is how the tier list actually works. So if this is your first time seeing a tier list video, basically the best tier is SS, and then it goes S, A, B, C, D, obviously D being the worst. But SS basically means very overpowered and broken and in need of a nerf, and S is pretty much like essential for a team, always a great pick. A is a solid pick, so on and so forth. So first up, like I said, we have Bloodhound. Bloodhound is an incredible legend built in wall hacks. Definitely going in the SS tier because Bloodhound is currently very broken. Bloodhound can get scans in like every 3 seconds in the ult, so it's incredibly overpowered. The ultimate is overpowered. The scans, being able to see through walls. It's like a 75-meter radius too. Bloodhound can literally scan entire buildings, towns, scan the entire map in one button. So it's like, obviously Bloodhound is definitely probably the best legend in the game right now, and that is why Bloodhound goes in the SS tier. So next up we have Gibraltar. Gibraltar is another incredibly good legend. That's why I'm going to be putting Gibraltar in the S tier. I believe Gibraltar could probably go in the SS tier, but I feel like he's just not on the same level as Bloodhound, just because, you know, Bloodhound gives literal wall hacks. Gibraltar's insane at stopping third parties, resetting off fights, and, you know, being able to stall for time, especially putting up cover with his dome and protecting people with the ultimate and the dome combo with the reses and everything. Gibraltar is incredibly overpowered, especially in ranked. Gibraltar is not seen as much played in pubs just because I feel like a lot of people find him a little boring, which is understandable, but overall, Gibby is an amazing legend, especially in ranked. He really shines in ranked, and even in the higher tiers, he is probably one of the best legends in the game that you can pick. It's always nice to have a Gibby on your team. So next up we have Lifeline, and Lifeline I'm going to be putting in the B tier. Now if this was arenas, I would put Lifeline a little bit higher, because in arenas, you know, it could be very difficult to go up against a Lifeline with a gold bag, and you could literally buy a gold bag every single round, and in that aspect Lifeline is amazing. But in BR, she's just kind of average. She's not that good. Her res is kind of annoying sometimes, and being able to reset very quickly, especially if you have a gold bag. A gold bag Lifeline is very dangerous. It could easily shift the fight in your favor, even if you have a knock. But overall, Lifeline's kit, I mean, the care package is not that good. Doc, the drone, is not that good. So overall, Lifeline just kind of falls to the side in terms of most legends, just kind of being average, maybe even a little below average, and that is why she is in the B tier. So next up we have Pathfinder. Pathfinder is in a solid spot right now. He has a really big hitbox, but overall his ability to maneuver and his grapple is incredibly good. He still has a zip line, which can sometimes be pretty clutch for taking high grounds. It's just a little bit more difficult, and there's a lot other legends that are better at taking high ground, like Octane and Horizon. But Pathfinder overall is a very good legend. The grapple is insane, and it's definitely one of the best parts of his kit, and that's why I'm going to put Pathfinder in the A tier. I believe he is a very solid legend, overall very good, and you can't really go wrong with the pick. Next up we have Wraith. Wraith is pretty much everyone's favorite legend. I feel like people have been playing Wraith since the game came out. Wraith is a very good legend, but I wouldn't say she's like overpowered or a must pick. There are other people in the game that you could pick that are better picks than Wraith. There are definitely legends that outshine her in multiple different ways. Her portal is very good for if a third party comes up, or if one of your teammates gets knocked, you can portal away. It's really good for rotations as well. The phase is always great for flanking and getting out of situations. It's like a get out of jail free card. But overall, Wraith has been nerfed a little too many times to be put in the S tier, and that's why I'm going to put Wraith in the A tier. I believe she's kind of in that category with Pathfinder, where she's in a solid spot. She can be used. She's a solid pick, but there are definitely picks and legends in the game that are better than her. Next up we have Bangalore, and Bangalore is kind of one of these legends where if we're talking PC, Bangalore is a little bit lower, but if we're talking console, Bangalore is a little bit better. Right now there is a major wall hack meta with like Bloodhound and Seer, so it's very difficult to play Bangalore. It's definitely a hard season to be a Bang main, and that's why I'm putting Bang in the B tier. Now if this was console, I would put Bang in the A tier, because the way aim assist works, You can kind of exploit bang smokes, but even still, everyone's running Seer or Bloodhound, so it's very difficult to get away with it. So even then, it's kind of like pushing it to put her in the A tier. She's pretty much a B tier legend. Hard to get away with, hard to use, very situational. The ult is solid at zoning people off, but overall the smokes are not only going to get you killed, but they're going to get your teammates killed. So you just got to be very careful using Bangalore, and that's why Bangalore is in the B tier. Next up, we have Caustic. I'm putting Caustic in the A tier. Caustic recently got a buff where his gas can kill you a lot faster. I think one barrel can 0 to 100 health you. So if you get caught in the gas, he is very, very strong. Caustic is one of the best, if not the best, defensive legend in the entire game for setting up, blocking doors, and holding off areas. He's incredibly good for zoning. His late game potential is absolutely incredible with his ultimate, and overall Caustic is an amazing legend, and that's why he is going in the A tier. So next up we have Mirage, and I'm going to be putting Mirage in the C tier. I believe Mirage could possibly be in the B tier. I know a lot of people love Mirage, and overall, he could be pretty solid with his ultimate and everything, but his tactical is pretty useless. The decoy, it really never gets anybody, even though you can control it. The only good part about Mirage is the invisible reses and his ultimate. And the ultimate, it's kind of choreographed. A lot of people don't use it right. I usually see right through Mirage ultimates because they run in a straight line and mess it up real bad. But overall, there's so many other legends in the game that you could use that would bring more utility to not only you, but your team, and be a lot more useful than Mirage. So you might as well just avoid Mirage. Not that good of a legend, but fun to play in pubs. The next legend we have on the tier list is Octane. Octane is an incredible legend right now. Definitely going to be putting Octane in the S tier. I don't believe Octane is so incredibly broken, but I do believe he might need a nerf. Overall, he's a very great pick, sturdy pick, definitely a better he's pretty much a better version of Wraith right now. So overall, Octane, can't go wrong with him. The jump pad gives a lot of potential, especially if you're running like with a Revenant, or just in general for rotations and pushes. The jump pad is incredibly useful. It's on a very short cooldown as well, and the stim is really good for mid fights because you can get that extra speed boost and do a lot of cool movement things. So overall, Octane is an amazing offensive legend for not only ranked but pubs as well. The next legend up, we have Wattson. Wattson is absolutely terrible right now. I think it's kind of funny that they even decided that Wattson could potentially need a nerf, or she might be too overpowered, or the fact that anyone even said Wattson was ever good. Wattson is really only ever seen when she was good back then in the old comp scene, but in terms of ranked and in terms of pubs, you literally never see a Wattson, and if you do, it's literally free KP. Definitely don't use Wattson right now. That's why I'm putting her in the D tier. She's terrible. Literally use any other legend in the game until she gets a buff. Next up, we have Crypto. Crypto is in the same boat as Wattson. Crypto is absolutely terrible. You can use, like, I know some people are going to be like, oh, you can coordinate with the drone or whatever, this and that. But the amount of coordination that you would need to pull off a perfect Crypto push, especially when a lot of people solo queue, is just not very likely. A lot of times Crypto is just useless because he has to be in his drone, or I mean he could set up the drone but it could be destroyed. At the same time, it's like, why would you pick Crypto when you can pick Bloodhound or Seer? He's just one of the worst recon legends in the game, and there's just no need to be picking him right now. So next up we have Revenant. Revenant is an incredibly toxic legend. I think that he definitely promotes this kind of ape for free, careless playstyle, which is a little bit irritating to go against, but Revenant as a legend overall is probably only A tier. I'm going to put Revenant in the A tier. He's a solid legend, incredibly annoying and ranked with the Rev Octane pushes. I do believe Revenant needs a little bit of a nerf, or at least a rework. I think he needs to be changed a little bit to maybe suit his kit a little bit more around himself, and maybe take a little bit away from the death totem, maybe add a little bit onto the silences. I wouldn't even mind that. I don't mind getting silenced. I just hate getting rev padded on. And overall, Revenant, very solid legend, and that's why I'm putting him in the A tier. So next up we have Loba. Loba is a decent legend. I would say Loba is kind of in that category where she's not as good as the other legends, and that's why I'm going to be putting Loba in the B tier. I believe Loba does give a lot of utility with her ultimate, especially in pubs and ranked. I feel like you can get a lot of use out of the ammo because I'm always running out of ammo, and just being able to loot the entire area off drop is incredibly useful. Her bracelet is solid, the ability to take high ground with it and everything. It's just kind of hard to push sometimes with it. Overall, Loba is a solid legend. You could even maybe argue that Loba could be in the A tier, but personally, I don't believe she is just that good. I think that Loba belongs in the B tier. Solid legend, definitely a lot better picks, and that's why she is going there. So next up, we have Rampart. Rampart, I feel like just is not that good of a legend. I feel like most people don't even know how to play her, and she could be better, but overall, with the more offensive meta right now in like ranked and pubs, you don't really see as many Ramparts, and if you do, they're pretty easy to roll. Rampart could be decent, like I said, but overall I'm going to put Rampart in the C tier. I don't believe she's that good. Her kit is underwhelming. Her ultimate is pretty much useless. Nobody ever goes on the Sheila, and if they do, you can literally pull out a sniper or nade spam or do anything. It is incredibly easy to counter, and once the wall goes down, the Sheila is essentially useless after, you know, you can easily get team shot. So overall, just kind of avoid Rampart. She's not that good. And the next legend on this list is Horizon, and Horizon just recently got a buff, which is actually making her a little bit more viable. This might be a little controversial to most people, but I do believe that Horizon is a solid legend right now, and that's why I'm putting Horizon in the A tier. I believe that Horizon is solid, probably one of the best legends at taking high ground. Her tactical comes back fairly quickly. Her ultimate is definitely slept on. You keep a couple of arc stars, and you can pretty much wipe an entire team for free. It's incredibly broken. You can break down doors. You can pull enemies into the zone. You can do so many high-level plays with her ultimate, and as well as you can use her L1 or her tactical as a built-in sniper tower and use it to kind of shoot people and get angles, instant high ground. She's incredibly powerful, and that's why I'm putting her in the A tier. So next up on this list, we have Fuse. Fuse is pretty bad. Right now, I'm going to be putting Fuse in the D tier. I know he just recently got buffed, but I think it's just his kit being terrible that just doesn't really help too much about it. Like, I know his knuckle cluster got like double the time, which, you know, it's cool, but at the same time, it's just like move away from it. You know what I mean? It doesn't really have that much of an effect. So Fuse is not that good right now. He's definitely like D tier. Maybe, you know, I haven't really given him a chance. Maybe you could put him in C tier. Maybe he's a little bit better now, but overall, Fuse not that good. Don't even bother playing him. Very bad. And next up on this list, we have Valk, and Valk is an amazing legend right now. I think Valk is one of the most slept on legends in the game. She probably needs a nerf, honestly. The 1v3 potential with Valk and the ability to take high ground is just absolutely insane. It's incredibly useful. Her ultimate, being able to get away from third parties or get out of an area or just rotate in general, is so useful. And overall, I believe that Valk is probably one of the best legends in the game, and that's why I'm putting her in the S tier. She is definitely my favorite legend to play, especially if I'm going in BR ranked. So overall, Valkyrie, amazing legend, and probably one of the best legends for movement in the game right there with Horizon. And last but not least, we have the brand new legend which just came out, and that is Seer. Seer is definitely broken. I'm putting Seer in the SS tier. He's absolutely insane. The ability to cancel reses and abilities and heals is just absurd. The fact that you can see enemies' health bars and see them through walls for 8 seconds is insane. He has built-in wall hacks just like Bloodhound. Any legend with wall hacks is going to be incredibly useful. And overall, Seer with his tactical, which is probably the best part of his entire kit, and being able to see pretty much anyone in like a 100-meter radius just for absolutely free with the tactical, and in addition to the ultimate, being able to see people in the entire area if you're in a fight. He's just incredibly broken right now, definitely in need of a nerf, and there's no reason to not be playing with at least a Seer or a Bloodhound on your team, and that is why Seer is in the SS tier. So that's pretty much it for today's video, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.